This is Eric from Living Leashless, your type 1 diabetic travel companion, and this is 6 months of my diabetic supplies. Oh no, my walls are crumbling! I'm traveling the world for an entire year and packing 6 months of this diabetic supplies, and today I'm going to show you guys how I'm packing all of this in a carry-on. Pods and swabs and sensors and needles, alcohol and syringes and insulin. This is everything that I'm taking, and it's a lot. Let's get to packing. Emily, it's not fitting. For a type 1 diabetic, going on even a short trip, like a weekend trip to the beach, can be a long process. You have to make sure that you not only have things like clothes and toiletries, but you have to make sure you've got strips, insulin, and all of the supplies you need to live. Now, we are not only packing for one weekend, we're packing for 52 weekends. And this is something that we've had to do a lot of research about and do a lot of trial and error, but we want to show you guys how we are making it happen. So first I want to talk to you guys about the backpacks that we're using. So here we've got the Osprey Farpoint 55. As you can see, it's got a big open compartment of 45 liters. Gives you a lot of space to stuff things. But then what's also really great about it is it has a detachable day pack, which we will be using for day excursions. This is going to be our carry-on, and this is the personal item, where all the important things go. So Emily and I are actually only packing 6 months of supplies at one time. We're lucky enough to have friends meeting us in June, halfway through the trip, that are bringing us the rest of the 6 months. So of course you can buy things like insulin and strips while you're out traveling, no matter where you are. Even in some of the most remote parts of India you can find things. But of course you want to do your research, and I have even emailed a couple pharmacies to find out what they have available. So that's definitely an option that you can do. In order to keep this 6 months of supplies organized, safe, and compact, we have found that the best way to do this is to make these. This is a vacuum sealed package of 1 month of supplies. So we are bringing 6 months of these with us at all times. Emily will carry 3 of these in her pack, and I will carry 3 of these in my pack to split them up in case something happens and just to keep them safe. So I use the Omnipod and the Dexcom as my management. I found that that works the best for me, and I definitely want to continue to do that as we travel. So as you can see here, this is the Omnipod packaging, and this is the Dexcom packaging. Both of these are pretty big, and especially the Omnipod is pretty rigid. So these are kind of difficult to pack. They're hard to compact down into a small amount, which is why these little vacuum sealed bags are great, because you get a little Beatty's block right here. It's really solid, it's very small, and you can get a lot of things in a tiny space in one time. So for all you stickers and prickers out there, you are going to have a lot less to pack than this, because you're not going to have to bring around a bunch of Omnipods or a bunch of sensors with you. And of course those are things that you can buy on the way as you go. So everything in these bags is used for day-to-day management. So that includes things like the pods, sensors, strips, syringes, and we have it labeled up top here what they have. So each one of these bags has 16 pods. So that's 1 for every 2 days, and then an extra 1 for insurance. 2 bottles of test strips, 5 syringes, 5 pen needles for backup pens if we need them. 4 sensors, they each last a week, so that'll get through 4 weeks or 1 month. 40 alcohol swabs. I'm only testing every 12 hours to calibrate the sensor, so that should be good. 3 lancets to refill the pricker for my finger, and then 2 batteries to put in the Omnipod. So the one thing that every diabetic absolutely cannot do without is insulin. So I'm going to talk about how I'm bringing the insulin and managing that. So I will be taking vials as my main source of insulin. I'm bringing 6 at a time, which will get me about 3 months. So my insurance was able to front load me a little bit, but this is what I could get at the moment. So I'll have to buy some as I go, and you guys can stay tuned for that. We're going to be giving you a lot more information about what to do and how to buy insulin in a lot of different places. So I'm bringing 6 vials, and the way that we're keeping them cool, because we'll be in a lot of hot places like India, Thailand, we are using Frio packs. These things are great. They're like little sleeves with tiny crystals. You soak them in water, put the insulin inside, and all it needs is ventilation to keep it about 60 degrees. So you can have these in your backpack on a 90-degree day, and they'll stay nice and cool, and they won't go bad. So we couldn't just put the vials in the Frio pack because they're glass, they might clank around and break. So we were able to find these little neoprene sleeves that were actually used for industrial cording, and we're able to fashion and cut these so that we could slip the vials in there and they're nice and safe. We actually found neoprene sleeves that were specifically made for insulin vials, but they were like $12 a sleeve, and that's like a whole month's worth of noodle soup in Thailand. So we are budget travelers, and we will do what we have to eat for a longer amount of time. So I'm also bringing backup management in case the Omnipods stop working. So I have right here the HumaPen, the Humalog HumaPen that uses cartridges. So I'm bringing one of these and 5 3-milliliter cartridges. So if I have to use this consistently, this can last me about 2 months with my current average of insulin boluses. And again, this would be if the Omnipod doesn't stick because I'm getting so sweaty, days that it just breaks or there's an occlusion, so this will be used as a backup. But backup is always good to have. Bring more than you need and always have a backup plan. So along with the Humalog pens, I'm also bringing Lantus because you can't have one without the other if you're doing the pen systems. So I will be bringing 5 Lantuses right here. And again, we have a second Frio pack. We only have one right now. The second one's in the mail. But we're bringing another Frio pack to fit all of this. So we've been able to put 3 of these vial neoprene sleeves into one Frio pack, and the rest is going to go in the second. So that's how we're bringing on the insulin. So as I said, you always want to bring a backup, but just in case, you want to have a backup to your backup. So that's why I'm bringing syringes with me. And I like the 30 gauge because they're big enough that you can draw up individual 1-unit doses pretty easily. But I will always have one of these with me at all times in case the Omnipod dies and I can draw insulin that way. So always bring a backup, even for your backup. Okay, so everything else that we're going to be talking about is outside of the day-to-day. So we just talked about what I use on a daily basis and how we're packing that. Everything else is outside of the day-to-day management. So almost as crucial as insulin is sugar, carbohydrates, in case you go low. So I am bringing ample amounts of carbs in the form of these little quick stick glucose shots. They're basically like medical pixie sticks, but you rip them open, throw them down, easy to go. Of course, we'll be buying glucose in a lot of the places we'll be going. You know, we can go to convenience stores, buy candy, that kind of thing. This will be for a backup. Again, something that we don't use unless we have to. Well, speaking of lows, I think my diabetes is a calling. So let's go take care of this. So for all of you watching with low blood sugar, cheers. Alright, on the same topic of lows, hopefully something that we never have to use but we want to bring just in case of emergency is Glucagon. And this is crucial, especially for the amount of hiking and activity and active things that we'll be doing. So we have 2 Glucagon kits, one to keep in Emily's backpack, one to keep in my backpack, and Emily has been trained to use it in case she ever has to. A high stress situation, she'll know what to do. So bring Glucagon and bring a backup, and whoever you're with, educate them on how to use it. Again, hopefully you never have to, but it's just in case. So next we have FlexiFix, which is a super sticky waterproof taggeter, and I'll be using this to tack down my sensors. So I went ahead and pre-cut strips of the FlexiFix. It's about 1 inch long, and I'll have a big amount of these to carry with us so we don't have to carry knives or scissors or anything to cut them on the road. So having some sort of medical alert is a good idea. Again, if you're ever in a situation where you can't communicate, it's best to let people know in another form. So I went ahead and chose to get a type 1 diabetic tattoo, so I have a medical alert bracelet that I can't lose. So for those of you that do not want to go get a tattoo, or you don't want to put the money in for a nice bracelet, it's a good idea because they last longer and they're more durable. You can find medical alert bracelets fairly easily and almost for free most places. Like this one I just got at a diabetes convention I went to, and I bet if you asked your endo or your doctor, they would probably have some of these on hand just to throw them your way. But again, it's a good idea to let people know in case there's a situation where you can't tell them you're diabetic, so they can go ahead and take care of your needs.
Perfect.
So we'll be traveling to a lot of places where pickpocketing is unfortunately a common thing. So even though these thieves might not know that they're taking a life-sustaining device, it's something that us as diabetics, we really need to protect. So you may have heard of money belts as an easy way to protect your money, and we have picked up what are called SPI belts. It's S-P-I belt, and it's an elastic stretchy belt that you can easily put around your waist, kind of like this. It's got a nice zipper pocket, but this is where I will be holding the Omnipod controller and my sensor. So I'll be able to concisely and easily put them in my pants. Now it has two pockets, so one, it's smaller, can hold a sensor easily. It also works good for passports or some extra cash. This one is a little bit bigger and it works great for glucometers, insulin pens, vials, but something that you can easily keep close to your person and out of reach. And it's got this nice zipper just as an extra deterrent. So again, keep everything safe and keep it close to you. So along with the sensors, for anyone that has used a Dexcom, you know that you have to change your transmitter battery every 3 months. So I went ahead and pre-ordered 2 sensor batteries. So this is going to get me 6 months of Dexcom sensor. So very crucial if you're traveling with the Dexcom, you want to make sure that you've got at least a backup of this just in case, because you don't want to go without it and have to have it shipped over to you. So make sure you bring it. Pods and swabs and sensors and needles, alcohol and syringes and insulin. This is everything that I'm taking, and it's a lot. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope this video was helpful. Please like or comment below, especially if I've forgotten anything or if you have any questions. Don't forget to subscribe down below for future updates and hints and tips on traveling with type 1 diabetes. And good luck with your travel dreams and keep on living leashless.